I think we are live. Let's confirm here. Yes, okay. I think we are live. I can see here. Got it. Perfect. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to this special edition of Let's Talk. And I would start with setting a perspective here. So, a man and wife left everything from the country behind and taking only one thing with them, that's hope. Hope to fulfill their American dream, hope to make a mark in the country in the pursuit of fulfilling their life. But as the time passes, reality sets in. While they're still hopeful, they're still nervous. While they want to progress in their careers, it seems that they are also stuck. Then all of a sudden, their very existence in the US being questioned. Just imagine that you're all settled. Kids are going to good schools. You are contributing to the economy. You have plans for the future. And then all of a sudden, this layoff happens. It does not even impact your financial situations. It created a whole existential crisis for you and your family in the US. Sounds familiar? Well, most of us can resonate to this story, partly or fully. Now, the question is, what are we doing to help these people who are in these tough economic crises out there? Many of us trying to help in our own way, but this gentleman, I would say a visionary up front, went an extra mile and created a whole ecosystem to help the people in need. And what is that? Let's talk to the man himself. Abhishek, welcome.
Thank you, Saurav. Glad to be here.
Definitely. So, just to give a perspective, I got one of your posts, which seems got pretty viral about your initiative. And I think I was also in the similar boat back in the day about the visa issues and what are the different things which we have seen. And you can also resonate, and you have gone through those steps as well. And that was I went through some of the initiatives which you have taken, and I was pretty impressed. So before we get into the part of the visa, and maybe a few people can easily resonate, they understand about why we are talking about the visa and H1B visa in particular. Could you just enlighten the listeners here and viewers what exactly is H1B visa?
Well, very briefly, the H-1B visa is a non-immigrant visa based on which international individuals can come to the United States in order to work for various companies. Um, that is probably there are other work visas as well, but H-1B is the most popular visa used all over the world, primarily by Indian nationals as well as Chinese nationals. But H-1B is the primary work visa to come to the United States and work in companies. It's very popular with tech companies, as many people might know, but it's used in other industries as well.
Got it. And as you mentioned, there are other work visas as well. Now, we are specifically focusing on H1B visa at this point. Why is that? What is I mean, there are a lot of people across the board who are impacted by this layoff. What is the additional layer of complexity or seriousness in terms of H1B visa holders?
Well, I would say two aspects of it make it particularly burdensome. The H-1B visa, the first is that um, H-1B visas are tied to a company, and the requirements around H-1B visas are extremely strict. So, in theory and in practice as well, those who come to the United States on a H-1B visa are coming in to work for a specific company. And should that relationship end, should the company part ways with that individual, then technically the individual is to leave the country because the relationship with that specific company has ended. And
Hmm.
technically, the person has 60 days to exit the country. It's called the 60-day grace period. And if they overstay that, they're accruing unlawful presence, or rather, to be very technical, they are out of status after 60 days, and they should really leave the United States within that 60-day grace period. Now, you could look for a different employer within those 60 days and change your company, and that new employer can file for a new H1B visa. That's how it works, and that's many H1B workers right now are in that boat who have
Hmm.
been laid off, and they have to find a new employer very quickly so that their visa can be transferred to the new employer. So that's one. But the
Hmm.
second, which is the more frankly gut wrenching aspect of this, is that many people, especially again Indian and Chinese nationals, they've been in the country for several years. Like in some cases, they've been here for more than a decade, and they have all, in all probability, applied for a permanent residency, which is called the green card, which has been approved. But there is a massive green card backlog, because of which those, even if you're approved for a green card as an Indian or Chinese national, you cannot get that green card for well over 10, 20, maybe even 30 years. And the backlog is constantly increasing. And that's due to something called per country caps. And it's the cap is applied equally across all countries. But of course, because India and China have the very large population, disproportionate population, they're affected the largest. As a result
Hmm.
of which, you're in a situation where you have someone, a family, to your story earlier, who came to the United States, has a family, kids, going to school. You have a home, maybe two, and you've just been laid off, and now all the life that you've built up over 10 years, and you are starting to call the US your home, and your kids recognize the US as their home, have to suddenly scramble and potentially exit the country within a matter of 60 days. And even if they choose to do that, they have to liquidate all the assets, or they have to, appoint custodians and caretakers, guardians, to safeguard all their assets before they leave the country. I mean, you can just only begin to imagine the kind of havoc it wreaks on anyone's life in that situation, who's been here for 10 years or more in some cases.
Yes, that's true. And I can totally relate to that. I mean, as people start living and then try to contribute in a different way, and as you mentioned, get into maybe they have purchased their homes,
Yeah.
60 days is it's like, yeah, the whole life is upside down. And as you mentioned that the more I would say the time you have spent in the US. So in that case, you have so many things already built up. So it's just like you are planting a seed and it transformed to a plant and to a tree. So the roots are so much inside that it's very difficult to uproot yourself. So
Yeah.
that being said, uh, what is the current way? I mean, as you mentioned, that people will try to scramble through and reach out,
Mhm.
and so you have seen this, and now we are trying to work towards what you have done. So help us walk through when you see these many layoffs, what exactly happened within you, which transform into something which obviously we are going to discuss in a bit.
Well, frankly, I've been reflecting on that myself, and I realized that this is perhaps something that I've been preparing for a long time, right? I came to this country in 2012 with the ambition to start a company. And little did I know that I was on H1B as well. Well, I came on a student visa, then converted to H1B, and I did not know that on a H1B you could not really start a company, nor were there any other options as a Indian, a person of Indian origin, to start a company. So I've been putting that on hold for almost a decade now. I luckily got my green card earlier this year, and I said, it's time to start my own venture. So I started something in the crypto space. I've been in the crypto industry for a long time,
Mhm.
but something in the immigration space making an impact has been sort of brewing in the back of my mind for several years, because this is something that impacts so many people, and frankly, people who would be an asset to the US economy. I mean, I personally love this country, and genuinely believe that immigration is an important aspect of this country, and US should be welcoming immigrants with open arms. and that the laws in this country surrounding immigration are completely outdated. So what can I do about that? Because not only do I care about immigration and immigrants, I care about the immigration policy in the US because I care about the US. And so this has been something sort of something that's been brewing in the back of my mind for several years. And so when I saw these layoffs happening, I instantly went, well, what can I do about it? I mean, I've been in the product function for several years. I know product and technology very well. I can get things going very quickly. I have a team of people behind me who have been with me for a long time and can do things quickly. So I said, well, let's put all that to use and create a resource for those who've been impacted so that they can find jobs quickly, because it's still a pretty fortunately a pretty strong job market. Even though there's been a series of layoffs and it's scary, the fact of the matter is that it's a very strong job market, and people should not lose hope. You do need to take the right steps and network and really hustle, but you can find a job. So can I bring together those employers and job seekers and get them connected quickly, so that they can find those jobs? So that's how it started, and really frankly it started literally last Monday with a simple domain name purchase and a form. And the response was just so massive. I was taken aback. I mean, I suspected that some people might use it, like it. I frankly did not expect such a massive response. I mean, there's been almost 1.2 million impressions of the post in the last 1 week,
Wow.
and about 180 candidates have enrolled themselves, about 80 companies and 50 mentors as well who are volunteering their time to work with these individuals. With this, and this is just massive, right? It strikes a chord because again, US is a country built by immigrants. It's, everyone is essentially an immigrant here, and so it's really struck a chord. So I said, let's combine these things. Let's combine my entrepreneurial, ambitions and this movement and this current need, and let's convert this into a larger initiative, which I'm not now calling Zeno. Zeno, the name, because it's a play on the word Zeno, which is Greek for foreign, as well as, frankly, Zeno, the founder of the school of Stoicism, because I find that immigrants are extremely stoic about
Mhm.
immigration matters. They've been through so many struggles that they have become immune to a lot of these events, fortunately or unfortunately. And a journalist asked me a few days ago. Someone was interviewing me, and they said, "Well, what do you think is going through the minds of people who've been laid off?" I said, "I'm pretty sure nothing is going through their mind. They're just taking it as yet another step in their journey. They're so used to being battered with immigration issues all the time that this is yet another setback, and they'll get through it, right? Immigrants are built tough, right? They persevere, and they'll be okay, but they do need to take the right steps." So, so Zeno, just to speak about that a little bit, and I can share my
Mhm.
screen and show that quickly. Zeno is, I'm set out now to build a complete immigrant platform. So this is a
Mhm.
platform that immigrants who want to come to this country or who are in this country can use, not only to find jobs, but to also apply for different visas, right? If you're, for example, right now, if you're on H1B and you want to transfer from H1B to H4 or B2, you could talk to an attorney and get it done through them. But for some reason, if you want to self apply, then we'll make it super easy to self apply as well. So think, for simplicity, TurboTax, but for
Mhm.
immigration matters, is how I'm thinking about it. There's also going to be a robust community around it where people can help each other out and come together. So that's part of the initiative as well, and it's going to help out in various ways moving forward. There's a long road, of course, and we're going to build, but I think we're off to a pretty strong start. So if I can share my screen, let me just spend
Sure.
a couple of minutes on this.
Yeah, sounds exciting. Let's do that.
So this is the website, and
Just give me a moment. I think I haven't seen that. Are you presenting it?
oh, now I am.
There we go. Yep. Now I can see it.
Right. So this website, I mean, we've been kudos to my team. We've been super hard at work over the last, well, about 8 days now, just working day and night to add as many things as possible to this. But this is the current website, right? The website, of course, lays out the different aspects of what we are offering here. But to be very specific, there is a whole section on employment, which is what we started off with last week. But here is where you can find employers can find the candidates who are looking for work right now, and they can see what how much time they have left, right? So we have this feature aspect here called days on the clock, which is literally the number of days that they have left in this country. And some of them, as you can see, it's already been negative. We do have to follow up with them and find out if they've already gotten a job or not. But these are the people who need help most urgently. You can come in here, enroll as a candidate if you're in this situation. You can also enroll as an employer. You can find a list of employers as a candidate who are willing to sponsor visas and are hiring right now. And again, there are 80 companies enrolled, and many of them are fairly large companies. So again, it's a testament to the fact that the job economy, the job market is still quite strong. You can also find support. We are starting to collect a list of lawyers who are willing to spend time with candidates and advise them, mentors as well, who you can tap into for resume reviews, introductions to their to companies and jobs in their network, just advice in general. So please, I encourage all those who are listening or seeing this to reach out to these mentors. There is a community with a forum where you can discuss things and events. I'm really working hard to bring forth not only attorneys to come in and give advice, but also, frankly, other immigrants who've been in similar situations before and have a story to tell. I think it's high time we start getting these stories out. So this is something I'm going to be going quite deep into. And then there's finally guides. So these guides are one of the first things that we have developed as a product. And just to show you this, these are meant to be really easy to use, super visual guides that allow you to understand what it takes to, for example, apply for H4 work authorization, H4 EAD. So H4 is the dependent visa, and EAD is the work authorization. So you come in here and um, let me see. Let me pick another example. Right. So you come in here and you can quickly see what the steps are in order to apply for a visa. And for each of the steps, we give you, in a very simple visual way, details of what's needed, what action is needed, what are the next steps, etc. And something that we're working on very furiously right now is giving H1B visa holders the ability to self-apply for either B2 visitor visa or H4 dependent visa should you need to do that if you don't find a job within that 60-day time window. We are really working hard to release that, frankly, by the end of the week. If not end of the week, it'll be next week, but we will be doing that to help people out. So that's just a very quick overview of the platform so far.
That's truly remarkable. So, as you mentioned that last Monday you did, and it's already so much stuff on this website. So, how you pull this through? Is it like your own team, or you get a lot of help as a part of the community service? Maybe people reached out and help you.
I've been surprised by the number of people who've reached out to volunteer, and I'm really appreciative
Wow.
to everyone for doing that. So they will start contributing in the coming days. I still have to organize that, but this whatever you see so far has been built by a set of people who've worked with me for years and are
Mhm.
just volunteering their time to pitch in and get this going. Just amazing people that I've met and worked with throughout my career.
Well, that's simply awesome. The way, I mean, this is the power of cause, right? When uh, I think these things definitely would be around for a while, and people are siloed and they are trying to reach out to different places to get this information. And you mentioned that you brought all this thing in one place. Is there already something in a similar fashion existent, or this is a totally a novel, a project which you're doing which has not been there in the system?
I think so. I think this is
Mhm.
quite novel. I'm
Mhm.
sure there's something out there, and if someone knows of any initiative like this out there, do let me know. We can always partner with other folks, but I do think this is a novel initiative where we're bringing everything into one place. And frankly, because I've been in that boat and I've been in this position, a lot of this is coming very easily
Mhm.
to me. I think a lot of immigrants have done a lot of homework on different immigration matters, so you can sort of talk about these things in at the drop of a hat. So
Definitely. I mean, And this is something I would also take an opportunity to mention to everyone here, irrespective of your status, irrespective of the life situation you are, please try to promote these things, because you never know that even if you transform one person's life, it's just about connection, right? I mean, I'm a big proponent of reaching out to the people and trying to have these connections, because if you are trying to bring those people together, for example, the employers, if they would like to go ahead and reach out to the people who are having a specific skill set, it's so difficult. I mean, they have their own processes. At this point, it's a win-win situation. Obviously, in a way that the person, that 60 days time period is also one thing which is important. And from the employer perspective, they can get the required skill set as well. And the good part is, as you mentioned, that it's not only for H1B, it's for H4 EAD, which is the dependent visa for the spouse, so that there's all the paperwork out there. So from here, as you mentioned, that there are people who are joining in and the community is growing. Are you getting already some kind of success in terms of people are? I mean, the people who are looking for the job and employers, they are kind of reaching out and progressing.
I definitely that's happening.
Mhm.
A lot of that we are going to spend some time this week collecting data around that. How many people have already found jobs? Has it been through Zeno? Has it been outside? But we do want to start tracking that and keep the database, fresh. But it's definitely helping a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people have reached out to me about this initiative and told me that they plan to hire from this candidate pool, or candidates who have reached out asking for advice, and as well as again mentors, right? So there's been a lot of tremendous feedback. Things have been moving so quickly that we do have to start collecting stats and stories from this initiative and see how many people it has helped.
That's great. And again, I think we have missed to mention the website. Uh, can you just let us everyone know what is the name
Yeah,
of the website?
absolutely. Thank you for asking the question. So the website is gozeno.io. So
Hmm.
gozeno.io is the website that you can go to, and from there it links to everything that we have available right now. So do go in. I highly encourage everyone to go in and look around and sign up for an account. We have a lot coming in the coming weeks, and we'll be regularly sending out emails with all the updates. So please do go in and check it out.
Definitely. And I would also urge that the people who are helping and the people who are on the other side of the fence, like they are looking for the job, I have a mindset of helping each other out. As I mentioned, like already wearing the cap of being resourceful. So if you have a particular skill set that really helps the other people out there, so just try to collaborate, work as a team. And yeah, I mean, that's way you can make the things really successful. So that being said, let's go towards the end of the discussion, Abhishek. What is the next step? What is the your message to the community in anything? I mean, if you are struggling in certain things because of the so much spike in the demand, anything which you would like to share for the people who can assist or who are in need at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to speak to a few different stakeholders. If you are someone who's on H1B and has been impacted, um, you have to accept this reality. Don't fight it. We have not been in a situation like this for more than a decade now. The economy has been really strong, and no, almost many people have not seen the situation at all. So you do have to accept this reality and plan around it. So network your way through. Don't rely on job portals and just applications. You do have to network, reach out to people, ask them to connect you, and find a job that way. Look for a job in other sectors. Tech sector has been hit the hardest. 120,000 people are estimated to have been laid off across all the different tech companies. So you do have to be extremely, approach this urgently, accept the reality, and look for a job that suits you. So that's one, but also start planning for alternatives. I mean, frankly, 60 days is not a lot of time. Even within that 60 days, you have to have a written job offer in your hand by like day 30 or 35 if you are to get your H1B transferred by day 60. I mean, that's extremely short, right? And In very rare cases will you get a job within a matter of 35 days. So you do have to start planning for alternatives. Reach out to attorneys who are listed on the website, or attorneys that ask them for advice. And so plan for that. Now, to those who are listening who are in a position to hire, please look at the candidate pool, look at especially those people who have very few days left on the clock, and reach out to them urgently. And if there's a match, give them an offer, right? I mean, again, you have to really step into their shoes, understand the human side of things. It's not easy, right? We spoke about this earlier in this call. And then lastly, to everyone, I really, personally would need your support with Zeno. So the best way you can help is really by spreading the word. We've made it easy to spread the word through the various links that we have. If you just, take gozeno.io and spread the word on LinkedIn or on any WhatsApp or Facebook communities that you might be a part of, and encourage those to spread as well. Like, that's the best way you can help me help the immigrant community, by spreading the word, because that's how people will come in, will start using the product, and that's how I know that gives me energy to continue to build and add more products and features to the platform to help everybody out. So that's my request.
Completely agree with that. And just to add two more points is obviously you are responsible for your career. So just want to make sure that the people who are really try to uh, they are in this situation, that is a learning for them as well. First, network hard, network as much as possible, cast your net broad, as much broad as possible. And LinkedIn is an amazing platform to do that. Reach out. If you do not have a premium subscription, get it, and then try to reach out to the people. As Abhishek mentioned, go to the website, try to reach out to the people, and most importantly, the attorneys, because you have to understand what are the laws and legal aspects of that as well. And obviously, to the people here, try to follow Abhishek and see what are the different development on LinkedIn, especially, and try to repost whatever he's posting as well, because that will help your community to kind of other broadcast it to the way it's supposed to, and help as much people as possible. So that being said, Abhishek, thank you so much for coming on this show, which is again, you took some time. It was a pretty urgent, so really appreciate that you made some time on this. And yeah, all the best for the future endeavors. And I can't wait to get this to a bigger momentum, and really a lot of people get benefit out of your initiative. So thank you so much, and have a great one.
Thank you, Saurav. It was wonderful coming on here.
Yes,
Thank you.
definitely.